You've paid $30 for a bottle of water. It wasn't thirst, it was theater. Voss, cylindrical glass bottle, heavy, minimalist, looks like a design object. The same water that comes out of your tap, filtered, costs 3 cents to fill. But this one came from the glaciers of Norway. And your brain loved the lie. Because when you pay more, things work better. Generic medication and brand name medication, same formula, same dose, but the expensive one relieves pain faster. Proven in the lab. Wine from a heavy bottle tastes superior. Beautiful food on a plate satisfies better. Brand placebo effect. But it doesn't stop there. What if I told you everything you buy works this way? That price doesn't reflect cost, but how scared you are of being nobody. Over the next few minutes, you're going to learn how to detect when you're paying for function or when you're paying for relief. Every purchase has 2 sides. Side A, you take a thing home, fabric, plastic, liquid caffeine. Side B, you buy who you want to look like. Think about coffee. Corner diner, $2, paper cup, you drink it standing at the counter, you smell the eggs on the griddle and hear the noise of that old coffee machine that sounds like it's about to explode any second. Starbucks, $7. Cup with your name handwritten on it. You sit down, connect to Wi-Fi, post a photo. Air conditioning, indie playlist, soft cushions. Same caffeine, same boiled water. 900% price difference. What changed? The meaning. At the diner, coffee is fuel. You drink it and leave. At Starbucks, coffee is a productive break, a lifestyle, social signaling. You're not paying for the roasted Arabica bean, you're paying for the setting, the ritual, the story that white cup tells about you. Wait, is this manipulation or is this service? Because look, multiply this by everything. Sneakers, same synthetic leather, same glue. With the Nike swoosh, $150. No logo, $40. T-shirt, cotton of identical weight. Target, $15. European designer label, $400. You think that's irrational? It's not, it's hyper-rational. The human brain didn't evolve to buy t-shirts. It evolved to survive in groups. And in the group, signals are currency. Having the right sneakers, the right bottle, the right phone, that communicates in milliseconds. I know the codes, I belong, I have value here. It's not about the thing, never was. It's about not getting kicked out of the tribe. So why can some companies charge 8 times more for exactly the same thing? Pick up a product, literally anything in front of you right now. I'm going to show you the 5 layers you paid for, and you'll see how much hot air made it onto the bill. First layer, raw materials. Cotton, plastic, mineral water, coffee beans, manufacturing cost, cents per unit. Second layer, design and packaging. Minimalist sans serif font, tempered glass bottle heavy in the hand, craft paper bag with waxed rope handles. None of this changes the product's function, but it changes, radically, the perception. You know that fancy little bag the store hands you after you've already paid? It costs them $4 to produce. You're going to throw it away in 20 minutes. Why do they do it? Signaling reliability. Subliminal message. We invested in you even after the sale. We're serious. Come back. It's the peacock spreading its tail, except instead of iridescent feathers, it's recycled paper with an embossed logo. Third layer, narrative. Water from Norwegian glaciers bottled directly at the source, absolute purity. True? Maybe. Does it matter? Not much. What matters is the scene that assembles in your head when you read it. Immaculate glaciers, crystalline fjord, untouched nature. The description directs your attention, and attention shapes experience. There's research on this. When you believe a painkiller is imported and expensive, it reduces pain objectively faster, measured by MRI. It's not illusion. It's the brain releasing endorphins, adjusting pain threshold, rewarding the expectation. Real physiological placebo. But up to this point, you can still say, okay, it's creative marketing. Now here's where things shift to another league. Fourth layer, tribe. You don't buy Nike sneakers, you buy a passport to the Nike tribe. Tribe of those who overcome obstacles, who believe in something bigger, whatever the cost. Smart brands don't sell products, they sell belonging. And there's a neurological basis. When you think about yourself and you think about someone from your tribe, the same brain region lights up in the scanner. Literally, you and the tribe are processed as one. That's why an attack on the brand becomes a personal attack. Example, 2018, Nike runs a campaign with Colin Kaepernick, the player who knelt during the national anthem to protest police violence. Thousands of people burned Nike sneakers they'd already bought, posted videos, hashtags, boycott. Result? Nike's profits skyrocketed. Market analysis estimates somewhere between hundreds of millions and $1 billion extra that quarter. Why? Those who agreed with Nike united even more, bought more, defended the brand on social media, attacked critics. Because defending the brand was defending their own identity. Fifth layer, fear. At the bottom of all this, there's primal anxiety, fear of becoming invisible, of not belonging, of missing out. Brands exploit FOMO, fear of missing out, with surgical precision. Concrete case, limited edition sneaker launch in a major city. Brand announces only 200 pairs available. Line starts at midnight. People camp on the sidewalk. Sneakers cost $400 at the store. On resale sites 24 hours later, $2,400. 600% increase. The company could produce 20,000 pairs. They don't. Artificial scarcity. Because rarity inflates desire, and desire inflates price. But here's the insight that changes everything. The real product isn't the bottle of water. It's the relief. Relief from the anxiety of choosing wrong. Relief from the insecurity of, am I falling behind? Relief from the emptiness of not knowing who the hell you are. You buy ready-made meaning because you live in a world that's stripped meaning from almost everything. Repetitive, alienating work, hostile and personal cities, shallow, performative, digital relationships. Then a brand comes along and whispers, wear this, drink this, carry this, and you'll know who you are. We already defined it for you. Industrial outsourcing of identity. And it works, because humans have always attributed meaning to objects, protective amulets, sacred relics, war banners. The brutal difference is, before, you created the meaning, or your community created it together with you. Now, multinationals create it alone and charge a toll for you to access it. You financed that iPhone over 12 months. Your old phone still worked, battery lasted all day, apps ran fine. But you saw 3 friends with the new model, felt that pang in your chest. Am I falling behind? It wasn't about a better camera. It was about not being the one stuck on the old model. 12 payments of $95. Total, $1,140. How much of that was function? How much was fear? Another extreme case, 1976 De Tomaso Pantera. Used car, worn out. Value, $2,500. Elvis Presley fights with his girlfriend. Car won't start. He pulls out a Colt 45, shoots the steering wheel 3 times. 1978, same car sold for $300,000. 12,000% increase. Why? Bullet hole became an existential autograph. Ordinary object plus unique story plus absolute scarcity, only one exists, equals value multiplied by 100. Brands do this industrially. Havaianas in Brazil, $5. Exported to France as Brazilian artisan flip-flops, $45. Same rubber, new narrative. New audience that doesn't know the original reference. Value is story. Story is control. And that brings us to the question nobody wants to ask. Let's talk about power and inequality. When value migrates from the thing to the narrative about the thing, whoever controls narratives controls wealth. It's no longer about manufacturing better, it's about storytelling better, and that concentrates brutal power. Scenario A, coffee producer in the mountains of Colombia. High-altitude Arabica beans, selective harvest, controlled fermentation. Objective quality, 88 points SCA, Specialty Coffee Association. sells the green kilo for $7. Scenario B, Starbucks buys medium-grade beans, 78 points SCA, from an industrial supplier, dark roast to hide defects, packages it with the green mermaid, sells the roasted kilo, equivalent to about 2.5 pounds green, ground into cups for $120. Difference? It's not the coffee, it's the logo. The mountain producer makes better coffee, but Starbucks has the global narrative machine, has the app, the loyalty program, the calibrated storytelling, presence in 80 countries. Who loses? Small producer without reach, talented seamstress without a recognized brand, skilled artisan competing against generic product that has branding. Who wins? Conglomerate that already has capital to buy attention, influencer who already has an audience to sell meaning. Symbolic economy rewards scale and reach, not quality and effort. And there's a second side effect. Buying becomes class signaling. Middle-class Americans finance iPhones over 2 years, not because they need to, but because having an iPhone signals, I'm still in the game, I haven't sunk. And everyone knows it's a game of appearances, but nobody can leave, because if you don't play, you become invisible. Resume without LinkedIn Premium? Discarded. Client meeting without proper clothes? Delegitimized. So the question stops being, is this manipulation? Of course it is. The real question is this consented manipulation or structural coercion? If the entire environment demands that you have the right signals to be taken seriously, do you have a choice or just the illusion of choice? Breathe. Look at what you're wearing right now. How much of it did you buy for function, and how much did you buy because you were afraid of disappearing? I'm not going to tell you to stop buying brands. That would be hypocritical and useless. The problem isn't individual, it's architectural. We live in an economy where meaning became a scarce commodity, and as long as real communities are weak, work is alienating, cities are hostile, brands will fill the void. But you can reclaim agency, not through willpower, through emotional literacy. 3-second pause before buying. Internal question, do I need the thing or do I need the relief? If it's relief, that's okay, just admit it. Buying belonging isn't wrong. What's wrong is thinking you bought when you only rented. Identity rental expires in next collection. Create meaning outside the market. An object with your story is worth infinitely more than an object with their story. A t-shirt you customize with a friend beats a designer t-shirt, not for moral reasons, for emotional density. When you create the symbol, nobody can take the meaning away. Be suspicious of anyone selling Tribe. A brand that says, we're a family, is lying. Family doesn't lay you off when profit margin drops 8%. You can like a brand, you can use it, but don't defend it in internet arguments. It won't defend you back when you need it. Demand radical transparency. If a company charges $400 for a t-shirt that cost $15 to make, you have the right to know. Open supply chain, who sewed it, how much they earned, audited environmental impact, explicit profit margin. If they don't deliver, it's pure extraction, and you have a choice not to finance it. Summary in 15 seconds. Branding isn't always the villain. Mental shortcuts are tools. They can inform or deceive. The problem is when all meaning becomes product, identity reduces to logo. The only way to say, I exist, is by buying. Then it's not marketing anymore. It's existential emptiness industrialized and sold on credit. So, are you going to keep buying Voss water? Probably, me too. But now you know what you're buying. It's not H2O from glaciers, it's theater in a glass bottle, ritual, temporary belonging. And that's fine as long as you don't confuse product with purpose. Practical challenge. Next time you look at a price tag, pause 3 seconds and ask, how much of this is thing and how much is fear? If the answer surprises you, leave a like. If you disagree, drop a comment. I love honest, well-constructed counterarguments. And if you want to understand how companies build these invisible architectures, design, psychology, desire engineering, subscribe. Next week, we deconstruct another everyday illusion you've normalized. Until then, buy consciously. Or don't. Just don't buy while you're asleep.